AutoSimply Sales Anywhere is a mobile sales solution for remote salespeople in the field. It's also used to support delivery truck operations as well as other remote access at trade show kiosks. And it has a standard order entry system as well as a POS mode that we'll be covering today in this session. It's a sister product of the AutoSimply barcode solution, so you'll see some similarities in the way the software app was designed and is deployed. So I'll pass it over to our presenter now, Terrence Ang. Terrence?
All right. Thank you, Rob. So this is good afternoon or good morning. I think it's good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Terrence Ang from AutoSimply. Thank you for joining our session this afternoon. And our topic would be Sales Anywhere. Let me now share my screen. So I'll just go through a very quick slide here before we proceed with the actual training itself. So, as Rob pretty much introduced a while ago, Sales Anywhere is meant to extend Sage 300 to the frontline users from a sales perspective. So, earlier today, we talked about barcode, how we are extending Sage for the warehouse man to post their receiving, shipping, transfer transactions. This time around, we're talking about either salesmen or customer service people using mobile devices to do sales transactions and post them live into Sage 300. So by transactions, we would be now referring here to quotations. It could be sales orders. It could be shipment. It could be invoicing. It could also be payment collection. One One thing that I will show you in a little while is also the POS screen that Rob mentioned in the introduction. So this is the same app, but running on a bigger screen. So if we are using a laptop or a tablet, now we have more space to show more information to assist the user in creating quotations, sales orders, or deliveries. So it is primarily meant for use maybe in a trade show as a point of sale solution, rather than the intent is not to be a full POS. It doesn't have inventory control separate from that of Sage. I mean, it doesn't work directly with the cashier cash box, but it can do pretty much what the POS system needs to do. In a little while, we'll also talk about the different modes of connecting with Sales Anywhere. So when we talked about barcode earlier today, we were referring to everything needs to be online except for the stock count. For Sales Anywhere, we do have options to do full online. It can be on hybrid mode, wherein data is stored on the device itself and only reaches out to Sage to post transactions, or it can even go full offline mode. So that means a user would go to the office or log into the Sage server, download what he needs, go fully offline, maybe go up in a mountain or go to a jungle, take an order, and then come back to the office or hotel to log back in and upload orders. So that is also supported with Sales Anywhere. Another topic that we will be covering today is a spin-off of Sales Anywhere, which we call Customer Portal. Some people refer to this as self-service portal. The idea here now is to change uh, who is doing the actual order entry. Instead of our salesman on the field inputting orders, posting to Sage real time, now we are allowing our customers to actually enter their orders for us. So using a app that they can download, they can place an order, they can track the status of that order. Has it been approved? Has it been delivered? We can even allow them to pay online via credit card. We support Stripe out of the box, and we'll talk about Stripe a bit later as well. And then they can look at their own history and download their statement of accounts. So it's essentially a customer self-help portal that is connected to Sage 300 real time. On version 7.3, we have actually made several enhancements as well. So we have added the chat option. So this allows the user, as when they do, let's say, a sales order or a quotation, to trigger a chat message to the next person in line to do something else, maybe do approval or prepare some documentations, prepare whatever needs to be done. We also now support pricing by weight. So pricing by weight is a standard feature of Sage. So in the past, we did not support it, but in version 7.3, just note that it is now available. We also support the scanning of serial to input items. So if we made it easier in the new version 7.3 for Sales Anywhere for users to scan barcode labels. So if the user is working with the catalog in front of them or the product in front of them, they can actually just scan it off and then create that order and do the sales transaction then and there. We also have added a simple GPS recording for salespeople. So with the app, salesmen on the field can now create a GPS record of where they are for purposes of tracking by management. So a supervisor can then check where is salesman one, salesman two, based on their GPS records. So the rest are just minor enhancements. So we have enhanced the batch offline support. So when we talk about offline a bit later, I'll highlight what has changed. But this is to simplify the process for bigger, for clients whose team is a bit big. So if I have 20, 30, 50 salesmen, when they download their data for offline use, we have improved it to save on time and make it more efficient. And then lastly, on offline mode, we can now let users have their own document series. So a user one working offline can opt to generate a document number series of his own. So like Terence 01 for sales, Terence 02, like Terence SO01 for shipment, for example. So those kinds of things. So with that, let me just go close the PowerPoint slide and proceed directly to Sales Anywhere. So for today, similar to what we did with the barcode training, we would want to start from scratch. So this is just the SAM LTD database of Sage. Uh, we have done barcode earlier today. At this point, what we want to do is activate Sales Anywhere, show you how easy it is to set up, why we say it is almost a plug and play solution, and then from there talk about features inherent built into Sales Anywhere and make our ways to the different options like offline mode, hybrid mode, customer portal, and POS screens. So with that, let me just open the install guide for Sales Anywhere. So I'm just opening the repository for Sales Anywhere here. The latest version is, of course, 7.3.2026. Do note that for AutoSimply, all of our products are essentially backward, forward compatible. So that means if your client is using an older version of Sage, like 2018, 2024, 2023, they can actually still use our latest Sales Anywhere 2026. This is true for barcode, for manufacturing as well. Now, I won't go through the installation from scratch, but I just want to highlight that when we are talking about Sales Anywhere or any of our app, actually, we are using web services. So same as barcode, that means you will have a web server that runs the Windows IIS. Right now, I'm just sharing with you the installation guide for Sales Anywhere, uh, focusing uh, primarily on the options within the IIS that needs to be selected. So just note, you can just follow through with this document when if you want to test install in your own environment. Just make sure to select all of those required IIS features. After installation, you can then proceed to installing Sales Anywhere to the Sage 300 program path. So those of you who are, of course, very familiar with Sage already know that I'm referring to the Sage 300 folder on the application server, wherein you would, of course, eventually see a YW73A folder. So this is just the program file for Sales Anywhere. You see the OCX files and the report files here. And then because we are using apps, so after you have the web server IIS set up, the program installed on the Sage 300 application server, the last step is to go to the App Store to download the app. So depending on which device you are using, so for example, in my case, I am running Sales Anywhere on my laptop, then I would need to go to Microsoft Store. So just to quickly show you, and look for AutoSimply, Sales Anywhere. And from here, download and set up the app. So if you are using a tablet or a mobile phone running on Android, that just means you go to Google Play Store to download, install the app. If you prefer to use a iPhone or an iPad, you would then go to the Apple Store to download the app. In terms of requirements, for Apple, we only need iOS 9 or later. For Android, it's just Android 7 or later. And then on Windows devices, we need the operating system to be Windows 10 or 11. So outside of that, we don't have any other requirement. You can use any device that makes sense for the user, tablet, phone, or PC laptop. So since I already have it installed, so I'll just open the app. But before opening the app, of course, because we wanted to start from scratch, after we install, I need to go to Sage, do a data activation. So because I was using barcode earlier today, I will just need to restart the IIS so that it doesn't lock out uh, the LAN pack of users of Sage. And then at this point, I can go to data activation, look for Sales Anywhere 7.3. So let's say it's this one, and then activate the normal way. So this is standard Sage 300 activation. Once completed, we actually just need to set up the user master and user security, and we're essentially good to go. Now, before that though, we need to, as part of the actual installation, it will actually let you set up the web service configuration. So this is, for those who attended our training earlier this morning, this is the same roughly setup. So it's the SQL Server IP address or server name, the web server IP address or server name, and then you have here the uh, SQL user ID and password that we would use to talk to the SQL database to speed up processing. And then this is now the Sage super user ID that we would use to post transactions to 300. So right now, as you can see, I'm using admin, but of course, in a real production environment, we expect uh, we expect the client to set up a super user ID for use by Sales Anywhere.
It got join reception ad.
And then again, you can see that we have some options below to test SQL connection and Sage connection. If you encounter any problem in setting up Sales Anywhere, please use the test for common issues icon here. So if I we can just quickly run it. So this is now the test for common issues. Let's say I want to run it on PST001, start test. This is now running a diagnostic, generating a log file for us to review. So it can potentially identify problems, and then you can send it to us, and so that we have an idea what could be wrong and can assist you accordingly. So it is generated, stored in this path, and you can just share it with us to check on. So for you to be able to run these common tests, you need to open Sage 300 as administrator. I mean, run as admin. All right. So that is just part of the setup. That's the web service config. Going back now to the actual setup in Sales Anywhere, you can see that we actually only have user master, user security, and options. So there's really not much to do. Let's go to user master first. So this is where we define who will be the Sales Anywhere user. Let's say this is salesman one. For password, we made it a bit more strict than barcode. So here we need it to be just like Sage, to have capital and upper lowercase and at least one uh, character. So nowadays I use test 1234 as my password. Underneath in the main tab, if you want to, you can link the salesman to the salesperson in Sage. So this is under the AR master, AR module, I mean. Offline group, hybrid group, we can come back to that later. So for now, we can just create a user, and we're actually good to go already on the user master. Now, one quick thing to highlight here is any number of Sales Anywhere users only share one LAN pack of 300. So this is what we mean by extending Sage. So instead of having maybe a back office clerk inputting sales orders, quotations in Sage, now we are able to enable the salesman on the field or somebody on a convention floor to log in, sharing that one LAN pack, posting real-time transactions into Sage 300 so they can create SO quotation, delivery, shipment, and invoicing. So that's with regard to user licensing. So it's important to note that the user of Sales Anywhere is different from the admin services LAN pack user of Sage. All right. Because it is different, we have also a separate user security. So this is now where we can define what can salesman one do. So we have here AROE and sales return options. So today we won't go through each one of this anymore. You can play around with that later to find out which button is which. But essentially, all of the security rights that you would expect. Can they make a quotation? Can they make a order? Can they see other orders made by other people? Those kinds of things. All of that is handled in Sales Anywhere, user security. For now, I just gave all rights to this salesman user and save. And then before we do a transaction, let's go into the Sales Anywhere option table. So here you can see it's mainly defaults. So you can have default customer, default bank code, default practice code. Later on, I'll show you if we want to show images in Sales Anywhere. Do we want to require signature? And what are the default transaction when it comes to Sales Anywhere. So for now, I'll just click on order so that the default is just creating orders. But just note that is where it is defined in Sales Anywhere options. But now that we have set up our users, we can now open the app. So this is the app running on a laptop or PC. uh, for settings, this is how we tell the system how to connect to the web server for Sales Anywhere for Sage. So since I'm using my laptop as server, the app is running on this laptop. I can just type localhost and it would already be able to find Sage 300 web server. If let's say for most clients, of course, in the real production environment, the salesman would be working outside of the office. So it's typically HTTPS setup. So just like Amazon, anytime, anywhere connection. You can use VPN as well for secure connections if you prefer. But just note this is where it's set up. If I go back and log on now, so you can see that after we have activated in TST001 sample database, it's now available for me to use. I'm logging in as Sales Anywhere user 1 with password test1234. So nowadays, this is my default password, so you can play with that. And then now I'm logging into Sales Anywhere. Okay, so let's ignore first the hybrid data. So this is now Sales Anywhere main menu, and you can see that we have the quotation entry, Sales Anywhere, and pause. What happened a while ago was because I played around with the hybrid mode. So this device has a hybrid data on the background, so it's trying to find it, but actually I don't want to use it yet. So let me just refresh the connection here. So okay, so let's remove that. Okay, setting. All right, now it's gone. So if it was really a blank or new environment, you will not see that message. So going back to my screen, this is now the main UI for Sales Anywhere. Notice that for this user, right now we have not restricted him in terms of location in Sage. So he can see location 1, 2, 3, 4. That means he can create any orders on any of those locations. Later on, when we go back to the user master, I'll show you where we can limit this scope. Now, I can create a quotation. I can create a sales order. Within the sales order input screen, I can also create shipment, invoice, and payment. I can do dunning. So dunning is basically chasing for payment from our customers. We can generate a demand letter in essence, ask them to pay. The POS button here is enabled only if the system detects that your screen is big enough, like a tablet or a PC. Starting from version 7.1, we have actually added sales return. So not only can we do shipment, invoicing, and payment, we can actually even process sales returns now. And then the rest here are mainly inquiries. So let's start with a quotation just to give you a feel of how the module works. So if I click on quotation, this is now the salesman selecting which customer is he dealing with. So let's say we use our favorite customer, Ronald Black. And then this is now a search for what items we are selling or quoting to this customer. So maybe I'll just limit it to bulb. So any item with a bulb in its description, I can filter this way. And then notice how in Sales Anywhere, we allow multiple select. So I can select the 2 lines, add them to my list of items to quote. And I can, of course, repeat this any number of times to create a quotation. Notice how we have a scan field here. So if, let's say, I scan A11030, it would just add it to the list of items we are basically creating a code for. And then if I wanted to change the quantities, I can click on a line, uh, maybe change this to 5. Depending on the security assigned to the user, can they change the unit price? Can they change the price list? Can they put discounts? All of that would be in the user security setting of Sales Anywhere. If I wanted to change the description, that is possible. So this is standard Sage feature. And then if I wanted to do a quick stop check on this item, I can just click on the description and I would be able to see all of the locations assigned to me. So I can see what is on hand, on sales orders, on purchase orders, and how much is available. All right. So that's just the user detail screen. At this point, before I post, I have options to put in document details. So I can put reference, maybe a PO number, comment, and then this is just total. So assuming that's all what I want to do for this particular client, I will post. And this is now a quotation posted into Sage by this user. So quote number 2. If we go now to Sage order entry, we would now see that the last quote is what we just created. We even changed the description of the item. This is the reference. This is the comment. And of course, you have the PO number there. So it's exactly like how we would do it in Sage 300, but we have changed who is doing it. It's the salesman himself. When is he doing it? He is doing it on site at the client, maybe. Uh, the order is created real time when he is posting it, so there is no time delay. So that is basically how we are extending Sage 300 for the Salesforce. All right. So that was a very simple example of creating a quotation. Now notice that I do have here two more buttons at the bottom. I can view, I can share. So viewing is just generating the quotation form. So this is the uh, order form that we have designed in Sage 300, and we're just calling it out, creating a PDF file, and opening it up for viewing. So this is now the quotation as viewed via the app. So nothing special here from a Sage perspective. The sending or sharing is where the app comes in. So right now I'm running it from my computer. So I have limited apps to use to share. But if this was done on my phone or tablet, then you would have your WhatsApp, your Viber, your Messenger, Telegram, wherein you can then directly send this PDF file to the customer right then and there. So with sharing or sending of forms, there's actually no need to print out, essentially. You can just generate the quotation or sales order or invoice then and there and send to the customer. So that was a quotation. Let me now go back to the main screen. From a quotation, I can actually convert that into a sales order if I want to. I can use inquiry, look for what kind of document. So a while ago it was quotation, so we can just search. This is what we have just created. I can call it out, edit, copy, or maybe convert it into an order. So I can create it this way. And we can even bypass and just do like a point of sale transaction from a quotation, directly create an order shipment all the way to invoice if we wanted to. But for now, let's just create an order, click OK. And this is now opening quotation 2. The sales type now is just create an order. Everything here as entered from the quotation. I can still make changes if you want. So let's change it to 6. And then I can also put, of course, comments. So a while ago, I did not, I can put item comments here. So that would also be fed into our Sage order entry screen. And then you can see it's here. I can post, and this is now generating a sales order in Sage 300. So this is now order 114. And if we go to Sage order entry, that would be the last order 114. It was copied from the quotation with all of the details that we have put in. The last information that we added was that of a comment. So in Sage, as you know already, it would go into the comment instruction tab. And this is what we just did a while ago. So from here, again, I can view, I can print. Notice now that there's a payment option. So just like Sage, we can create a prepayment against the sales order. So I can click on payment. This is now maybe a check, a cash payment, bank transfer. Uh, Later on, I will show you how we can set up Stripe so that we can also do credit card payments. But for now, let's just put it as maybe a cash payment. Maybe it was for $50 and then post receipt. So this is now generating an AR receipt batch for $50. And then from here, I can actually see the next steps. If I was starting off from an order 114, then the system is expecting maybe a conversion from order to shipment, maybe from shipment to invoice. But just to circle back to our inquiry a while ago, it would be, let's say, looking for orders to process. We can see this last new one, order 114. Let's just say that I want to jump from sales order directly to shipment and invoice. So we can click on OK here, and you can see it's shipment to invoice. For all of these items, I can post, and this is now generating in Sage a shipment and an invoice record to go along with it. So you have invoice 107, and if we go to order entry, transaction, invoice entry, you would see that we have already created an invoice 107 with shipment 109. So nothing is changing from a Sage logic. We create quotation, we can convert it into an order, SO I mean. SO can be converted to a shipment, and then shipment can be converted into an invoice. Anywhere along that line, we can collect payments, and then that payment, a while ago when we did the prepayment, I can just show you now. If I go to AR transaction, receipt batch list, I would be able to see that the last transaction was a payment collected from AR, from SalesAnywhere. So this is the $50 prepayment that we did a while ago, and it was linked to our sales order 114. So it's a very, very simple module wherein we are allowing salesmen on the field to do all of these transactions. Now, even though it is meant for salesmen, nothing is stopping us from using it in-house. So if our clients have a large number of customer service agents in-house encoding orders for the salesman, this is also a simple way for these customer service agents to enter or process the orders. So again, it's simpler to use, easier to train, and we only share one LAN path. So it's also more cost effective for the client to use if they have a big number of customer service agents or salesmen entering sales per orders in Sage. All right. So with that, let me just take a step back, go back to the Sales Anywhere setup, and then make some minor changes to our setting. So the first thing, let's go to user master. At this point, maybe we want to enforce record level security. So for salesman one, maybe we want him to be only limited to two locations. So I can set it up here, one and two. I have to close my other screens. So let's just close this. Okay. So, okay, let's do that again. So user master one, and then for location one and two. So this is now limiting this user to these two locations. Notice that aside from location, I can also do it for customer and item. So let's do that next. So you can see that we have here under the Sales Anywhere folder an item group and a customer group setting. So this is how we create any number of item groups and then assign them to the user master. What item groups can they access? So today I'll just keep it simple. I'll just create an item group one. And let's just say I'll pick a couple of items here. And I'll just go for one of the items with a lot number. So this could be item group one. In a similar fashion, I can also create customer groups. So in the real world, this could be a VIP group, north, south, east, west sales territory. So it can mean any number of things. But for our purposes in Sales Anywhere, it's just to limit who can the customer or the salesman can sell to, what can he sell, where he can sell from. So in this case, let's just say I pick 1 to 100, 1 to 10, 1 to 40, and let's say 1400 and 1500. So just this couple of records. And if we go back now to the user master, for customer, assign customer group 1. For item, assign item group 1. So notice that we can assign multiple groups, multiple customer groups as well. So it's up to us how we set it up. But at this point in time, when we save, let's just log back in, refresh the connection. So this is salesman one connecting to TST001. So notice now that the default location is limited to 1 and 2. If I now, instead of creating a quotation, let's jump to create a sales order. Notice that now it's limited to just the 5 customers we have pre-selected a while ago. And then when I search for item, it will only show me items that were assigned to me. So it's like a catalog that I can sell. I cannot sell anything beyond this item list. So let's say I want to select this, this, and this. So I have 3 items I want to create an order for. And at this point, it's just creating an order. I can put in doc details, photos, but eventually post. And this would now create a customer, create a sales order 115 in Sage. All right. And then, of course, the next step is shipment and invoice. So one quick thing I wanted to highlight here again is when I click on the sales entry screen, after we select the customer, I wasn't able to highlight this a bit earlier. Notice that we have here a sales type choice. So this is giving us the option. Is this just for order? Is this order and shipment? Maybe something like a van sale concept, or maybe it's like a point of sale transaction where we create the order, we deliver it immediately to the customer, and the customer is invoiced and actually in most cases pay already. That's why it's a point of sale. So we can do this, and depending on the user security in Sales Anywhere, we can then limit what they can do. So if for certain users, maybe it's just quotation and order. Some users can do shipment. Some users can do the whole order, ship, invoice routine. All right. So those are just some security related things to discuss. I can limit uh, by record what can be done by the user. So that was by location, by item, and by customer. We can also limit by function using the user security setup. What can the user do with those customers? All right. So that was just the user master setup. Uh, we'll circle back to the offline number later when we talk about offline. So let's just never mind. Let's just close that. And then the next quick thing I want to show you is how to set up images. So if we want the user to be able to see images of the item being sold, uh, that is just an option that we can define in the Sales Anywhere option table. And here we just need to tell the system where do we store those images. So in my case, I put it under Sage shared data item images. So we can save that. And on the back end, if we look at it, what is the content? The Sage shared data item images. So you can see I have here like thumbnails, images of those items. Let's say a calculator. So this is the image that I want to use. Now, how does the system know which is which? You can see it in the file name. So we just need to copy paste the images of the items we want to use in Sales Anywhere to this shared folder in Sage. Use the unformatted item number as basis to link the two together. So just define something like this and you're good to go. Another thing that I may want to activate is signature. So in Sales Anywhere, we can set up the system to capture a signature from the customer during shipment and invoicing. So this is now where we will set it up. So do I want to require signature? If yes, where do we store that signature? So again, typically we would recommend to put it in shared data path where we can have a YW73A and just for naming convention purposes, I have created a TST001 folder and save. All right. So with those two changes to our setup, let's go back to our app. Just refresh for a second by logging out and logging back in. So now we expect, aside from the user security, we want to see images and we want to do a signature capture. So now if I click on sales, again, which customer? So let's say 1400. And then what do I want to do? So maybe in this case, just order and shipment. And then when I add the item, this is now showing me a list of items I can sell. Based on security, I can only see 6 of them. But now you can see that we have displayed the images as shared in the folder a while ago. If I want to make it bigger, I can click on the image, see the item. So you can see it here. It's uh, the item is being displayed. And let's just say that I want to order these 3 items first. So now we have created an SO shipment with 3 items. For the quantity, the price, let's just assume it doesn't change. I can post. This is now the signature caption. So during shipment or invoicing, there is now signature. I can confirm. Okay. So at this point in time, we have created a shipment from that SO to be created. So it's shipment 110. And if we look at the printout, I can view the picking slip. So we know in Sage, picking slip basically refers to the shipment form. I can view receipt, and of course we can print. So if we have a printer attached to this device, we can trigger a printing as well. But now let's just view and then close. So this is now like a receipt form of the shipment record. So we designed it with a thermal printer in mind. If the salesman is using a mobile printer, and then it's Bluetooth connected to his phone, then he can print out, give it to the client. So this is how it would look. If we opted to trigger the picking slip, this is just essentially the shipment form that we are all familiar with in Sage, which Sage calls the picking list. Yep, so it's this one. And then I can just share it to the user using the apps on my device. So that's sending the picking slip done. So at this point, we have already showed you how to set up user master, how to set up user security, how to do standard transactions in SalesAnywhere, and have option to put in a what do you call that, item image, and then capture signature. So that's most of our clients use SalesAnywhere for those purposes. Now, let's add another layer to it. This time around, let's do payment by credit card. So to be able to do that, we have to go back to Sage. We just need to close some of the setup as well to avoid error messages. It's actually about payment gateway. So right now, our system only supports one payment gateway out of the box. So we can support more, but we need to work on it, and it depends on what gateway is willing to work with us. We If the client is using Stripe, they will have a Stripe provided publishable key and secret key. So for our purpose today, let me just get that one. So I put it under my reference. Hold on for a sec. Stripe. Tab. So it's this, and then we have to put it to the Sage setup, payment gateway, and then the secret key has to go there. So anyway, this is just for demo purposes. So we can save it. And then once we have done that, we just need to do a credit card mapping. So this is with regards to the different payment codes that we have done in Sage. So let's say this is Visa, Master. So let's just set up 2 here and save. So with that, we're actually able to do Stripe payment now. So let's just log out and refresh. So now up 1, okay. So this is now connecting to Sage, and then let's just do a quick sales order processing again. So let's say this time for Acme Plumbing, and then maybe order shipment invoice is point of sale transaction, add what item. So we only have 6 items here, so let's search for all of them. Maybe these two, and then post. So assuming it's just one each. So again, you have the signature, confirm. But now when we do payment, we expect to be able to do credit card capture as well. So under payment, I have an option to use Visa, and then this is the amount to be paid. I can charge a card. So this is now the card number. Let's say 42, 42, 42. So this is just a test card number. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then card holder. So this is now credit card payment via Stripe. So that was processed by Stripe. Payment is accepted, successful, and now we have created AR transaction batch in Sage for 5575. So that is essentially credit card payment via SalesAnywhere. And to prove it, let's go to AR batch receipt. And then you can see that right now we have a second entry. A while ago, the first one was the $50 deposit we made earlier. Now is referring to the credit card payment via Visa for $55.75. All right. So that's essentially credit card payment using Stripe via SalesAnywhere. So let's go back to SalesAnywhere app here. Okay. So before I show you other features like the point of sale, I just want to also highlight some small options that is available to the user. So first, I have a option for fast order. So I can select the customer first. So let's say 1400. Fast order allows me to look at the history and then call out one of them to copy and create order ship invoice. So it's just a very fast way of processing repeat orders. All right, so just know it's there. We call it fast order. Notice as well that we have a load from draft option. So what it means is maybe as I'm creating an order, I suddenly have to stop, prefer to save it as a draft to be continued later on. So to do that, let's just create a quick example here. We're in, let's pick 2 items. And then instead of posting, we would just opt to save it as a draft. So you can see a save draft button here. So this is now a draft that I can go back to later on. Another option is upload. So upload is based off a CSV file. So we can give you a file format of CSV with the minimum required line column details so that you can actually import an SO into SalesAnywhere. So that's possible. But just to complete my example a while ago, when I'm doing a sales order, notice now that I have load from draft. I can see the one that we haven't finished yet a while ago, call it out, and then proceed to that order to continue processing. So for point of sale, this is quite useful because maybe as I'm processing customer A, he decides to go back to the store floor and get something else, so I can save it as draft, then proceed to a second, third customer for processing, and then go back to the first customer when it comes back with the additional purchase. So it's something that can be done. Another thing while I'm on this screen is the void button. So this is just in case, just like on a cashier, wherein somebody creates an order, creates a processing, and then decides to cancel it. So voiding just basically cancels the whole transaction. So that's some of the small navigational thing that you can do in Sales Anywhere. At this point, let's go to point of sale. So because I'm using my laptop, the system detects that my screen is bigger than a phone. It will enable the point of sale button. If I click on point of sale, this is now allowing me to create an order, just like what we were doing earlier. The first thing to do is select customer. So let's say it's Courtyard. Instead of the screen a while ago, now you are using this interface wherein I can extract all of my items assigned to me. So right now it's only the 6 items. I can then easily input my order quantity and then click OK to populate it on the right hand side, just like Sales Anywhere. On every line, notice that at the bottom part of the screen, just like the order entry screen of Sage, I can also see the stock status information. So for example, if I want to check which sales order has this quantity of 1, which PO are we referring to here, and then any committed quantities can be seen here. And then on the document detail tab, just like in Sales Anywhere, I can put in maybe a PO reference, any reference that I want to put in, and then eventually post. Notice that I also have an option to commit all or save as draft. So save as draft, we already discussed it earlier. We know already what it is. Commit all this is referring to the Sage order entry committed quantities field. So as I'm creating the order, I can actually choose to have it all committed as well. So when I post, this is now creating a order by default. So the action is ordered based on my current setting. But of course, just like Sales Anywhere, I'm just continuing. When I create a new record, it will ask me, is it order, ship, or invoice? So if it's like a point of sale, then it's order, ship, invoice. And then I can create a new transaction. Let's say anything with the bulb again, search. I want to sell maybe 2 each. I can then populate the item list onto the right hand side. And then the rest are just optional. I can post because it's a shipment. Now it will require a signature. And then if we need to pay, we can also pay. So this routine is similar to Sales Anywhere on the mobile phone. The major difference is just the size of the screen and how much data and the ease of use. So typically for clients who are using this for their customer service team, so they are working from the office, maybe using a tablet or a PC, then this would be much easier for them to use. For the salesman, if they have a tablet, then this is also easier to use. But if they want to use a mobile phone, then we can do almost exactly the same transaction, except you have a smaller screen to play with. That's all. So this is the payment. Let's bypass it for now. And then I can view the receipt, send the invoice, print receipt, and then done. So it's the same. So no need to repeat it. Maybe the last quick thing I will highlight here is grid view. So for the grid view, this is based on the item grouping. So right now it looks a bit strange because I only have one item group. But if I created group 1, group 2, group 3, I can then see it by grid, by item group, and then show it this way. So it's just a slightly different way of processing the information and then select. So it's now just adding it to those items to the right. Okay, so that's point of sale. Uh, we can actually also add customers. So a while ago, I wasn't highlighting it, but notice that there is a add customer button to the upper right-hand corner of the screen. This is if you want to allow salesmen to define new customers using the app. So the end result, of course, is they need to follow the requirements in AR Customer Master of Search. So some fields are required, like customer group, contact, terms code, interest profile. So all of that has to be defined. But essentially, it's roughly the same as doing it in Sage. So before we go to offline and hybrid mode, let me just segue a bit and show you the dunning function. So dunning is now letting the salesman, as he visits the customer, to generate a demand letter. So if let's say if I was salesman number one, let's say I have these 5 customers I manage, I can see that for Courtyard, uh, they have some invoices which have been due for more than 90 days. I can then open that record. I can see which documents are uh, having this problem. I can choose which one maybe I want to chase for payment. So it's not meant to be a full SOA or statement of account. We're just trying to let the salesman pick out certain documents that they want to focus on. So let's say I pick this first 3. I can then put in a comment, please pay ASAP, manager is chasing, and then post. So this is now creating a dunning letter, which I can then view and share. So this dunning letter, I can view it. So this is what the content would be, and then share via WhatsApp or Viber or Teams. Okay. So that was the dunning functionality, and then we don't need to talk about it too much, but you can see that the last transaction that we haven't talked about yet is sales return. So this is now just doing a sales return from invoice or just customer. So customer means there's no invoice linked to it. But let's say straight invoice. These are the invoices that we have processed a while ago. Let's say I wanted to return invoice 109. Okay. So those are the warning for day end processing only, but you can see what it is. This is now what item we want to return. We can change the quantity, but at the end of the day, we will just post. And this is now creating a credit note, number 3, based off that invoice. So again, nothing very special. This is standard processing in Sage. All right. So if all of that was clear, let's now talk about uh, offline and hybrid mode. So going back to the desktop for SalesAnywhere, you can see that we have here offline and hybrid group setup. Let's start with the hybrid group. So by hybrid, just like the cars, it just means it's a mixture of online and offline functionality. So I'm creating a hybrid group 1. I can set a validity. Is it valid only today, or let's say to the weekend? And then I need to limit the hybrid to a specific location, to a specific customer group, to a specific item group. So this is our way of forcing the client to limit the scope of the data that we need to download to the device. So by device, you might be talking about their phone, their tablet, or their PC. So we require a group customer, a group item. Wait, okay. When I say we require groups, it's not limited to one. So they can have several item groups, several customer groups, but we do not allow them to go on hybrid for all customer, all item records. So that's not allowed. So this is now my hybrid group setting. I can go back to my user master for user one, link it to hybrid group one, all right, and save. And going back to our app, I would need to log out just to refresh and then log back in once it's refreshed. It's TSP01. Sorry, wrong password. I meant that. So you can see that now the user has setting for hybrid. So whether you want to display this or not, that is actually part of the setting here. So aside from the hybrid on or off switch, notice that this is also where we are setting up the printers. So how we know which user will use which printer to print out, let's say, the receipt. So this is hybrid off. This is hybrid on. And in this case, before I start working today, I would need to request the data. So this is now the app connecting to Sage 300, downloading master file information that it needs to be able to work partially offline. The check button here allows us to check for the status of the data preparation. So this takes a few seconds or a few minutes to complete. So eventually, once data has been prepared 100%, then we would just need to download the data. So this is now, in my case, it's still my machine. But imagine that normally you're connected to the Sage server, but now instead of connecting Sage server, you're now connecting to your own machine to access item records, customer records, pricing. So with that, I have downloaded it already. I'll go back to this screen and turn on hybrid mode. So notice that when we turned on hybrid, some of the functions have been disabled. So this is because we are not downloading those data yet. So we cannot just uh, use this inquiry, for example, to look for all orders. It's not available anymore. Dunning is because we don't have all of the details to create the Dunning letter. And then sales return, we did not download sales data, sales history, so that we cannot return it as well. But with the hybrid mode activated, if I click on sales, notice how fast it is. So instead of connecting to Sage, looking at the customer group, downloading it and showing it to the app, now the app already knows on this device, I have this customer list already. So it's just automatically presented. Let's say we select 1400. For the item that we are ordering, I can add, search. Again, it's you can see the difference in terms of speed. So at this point, when I'm creating the order, it's not really looking connecting to Sage, just locally. The only time it will connect to Sage is when I'm posting. So at this point, maybe this is all what I want to order or ship or invoice, in this case order. This is the time when I click on post. that the hybrid is connecting to Sage, generating 120. So that's essentially hybrid mode. If you want to see it on the point of sale perspective, hybrid is active. I can go to point of sale. Again, you can see it's much faster now. It's hybrid mode there. I can search for all items. I can put 1, 2, 3 here. But notice that when I select on when I highlight a line, it's actually talking to Sage because we're getting the latest stock information there. But when it was populating this field, it wasn't looking at Sage database. I can then extract, and then when I post, that's the only time again that the system is connecting to Sage to create order 1 to 1. All right. So that's hybrid mode. Now, offline mode is very similar, but of course, fully offline. So I'll just close this example here and then show you offline mode. So the setup is exactly the same. I just need to go to offline group setting. I need to create offline group 1. And then location again, customer group. So same logic, we want to limit which customers, which items they will access for offline. And then we go back to the user master and assign offline group. Oops, I have to close some screens again. Let me just close some screen. I'll just log out from here as well. User master, user 1, offline group 1. Okay. And then in addition to that, we have here the offline number. So if, let's say, we want the user to use a different quotation theory, so this is for user 1. Maybe I want to have a prefix of 26. User 1, okay, maybe user 126 for year 2026. And then for sales order number, maybe QU, and then maybe this is SU126, something like this. So I can create another document series for the offline user. And then let's go now to the app, log back in. All right. So instead of hybrid, let's turn that off. Let's go to setting and disable hybrid, go to offline mode. So this is now showing us this option, offline data and pending document. So similar to hybrid, at the start of the day, I would need to request data to be downloaded to my machine. This is again a check button to see the status of the data preparation being done. But while we're waiting for that, you can see on the right, beside the buttons there is an option to create new and update from last already created. So in version 7.3, we now have an option for the user who wants to generate offline data to just update from the prior generated data by somebody else. So if I have a team of 10 salesmen, the moment one of them already generated a data set, assuming it's the same hybrid, the same offline group, I mean, the same another user from the same offline group, just to be very clear, has generated offline data, I can just get it, update, and get the difference. So this is now okay, fully generated. I can download the data to my device and then go offline. So when we go offline, a lot of buttons are disabled, so we cannot do billing. We don't support it for point of sale at the moment, so it's disabled. Sales return, dashboard, sales history, GPS record, all of this are disabled because we know that we don't have those information. And then now, when I create a quotation, for example, this is now offline mode. So the speed is still as good. Searching for all items, maybe this two, finish. I can change quantity, change price, but let's just say if this is the quotation, I can post. So this is now creating a QU126000. This is my new series document. And then for sales, just to show you as well, so maybe for Acme Plumbing, this is order. I'll just add the item, just even one. Let's say this two. Post. So this is now my sales order with this new series that you want to use. And then just to quickly show you, even though it's offline, I can actually create a shipment, invoice, even payment. So if I want to, I can go order, ship, invoice, add items. Let's say this two, post. So signature. So we can generate all of this, but of course you can see it's all pending. It's not really posted to Sage yet, but it's stored on the device. And then at this point, let's say after a day's work, I would go back to the office. But before I go online, I want to see. We have a quotation here. If I click on the detail, it's showing me the detail. I have an order. I have an invoice that we have created just now. And then if I'm ready to go back to the office, I will go online. When I click on the pending document, I now have the option to post all documents and payments to Sage. So this is now the time that it's creating the actual quotation, the actual SO, the actual invoice that we just processed using offline mode. Now, the one major limitation for offline mode, and you can see it here, is that the system is not calculating taxes during the processing of the offline transaction. So we do provide for an option for a user to input a estimated tax if you want to. We do have some clients who have some customization around this. So some countries have a very simple tax, maybe like 7%. So if they want us to add 7% automatically to tax for each order, we can do that as a customization. But just note, out of the box, we don't calculate tax. And it is something that you can see is only being reflected when Sage goes online, when the SalesAnywhere goes online, let Sage calculate the tax and save it. So this is because some of the jurisdictions in the world, especially the United States, is very, very complicated. There's no way for us to calculate it, and we are afraid of making a mistake when it comes to tax calculation. So just note, out of the box, the taxes are not being pre-populated. And we are waiting for actual posting to Sage to generate those tax calculations. So just to go back to our sample database here, so if we look at order. So now we have here sales order 126. You can see that we have created this document using our series. And we also have the quotation that we created using this uh, user specific document series. All right. So that's essentially Sales Anywhere offline processing. Before we go to the customer portal, we have here the additional functionality of GPS record. So it's not very special. If I were the user, I can click on GPS record to get a new record here. But because my laptop cannot show that properly, let me just quickly log out here and share again my mobile phone. So this is just me casting my phone to my screen. Let me refresh the streaming. Okay. And then this is now the Sales Anywhere app. It's hiding the screen from you because I need to log in. Oh wait, I need to refresh this first to reflect the TST001 which we have just added. Let's refresh the whole app. Okay, Sales Anywhere. Yep. This is me just logging in. Hold on for a second. All right. It should be showing the app in your screen shortly. Okay. So this is the same Sales Anywhere app now running on my mobile phone. So you can see here that the POS button has been disabled as well as the sales history button. This is because of the screen. So some of our screens were designed to be for use in a bigger device. So if the system detects that it cannot run it, we just turn it off to avoid any issues. But at this point, what I just wanted to show you was the GPS record. So this is now adding a new GPS record. It will ask for permission to get the GPS from the system. And then this is now just me getting a record of the date, time, and my current location, which is exactly correct, actually. That is the hotel I'm in right now. So I needed to show this to you from a phone because of the GPS functionality. So uh, this function, generating GPS record, will only work if the user is using uh, a mobile phone or a tablet. Laptops and PCs don't have GPS functionality, so we cannot extract those information. But again, if it is a mobile phone, a tablet, then that would work just fine. They can click on that, create a record every now and then. There's no point for me to click it again because it's the same GPS. But in the morning, maybe I'm in this side of Toronto. In the afternoon, I'll have to click on that again to create a GPS recording, which can then be viewed by management for this particular user. So that's just a very simple GPS tool that we have added in 7.6. Now, while I have the phone open here, let me also quickly show you what happens the first time you download the app. So the, when you download the app the first time, it is actually set up to be this way. So blank server with HTTPS activated. So when we, okay, uh, it, okay, it doesn't look so good because you cannot see the login page. So let me do it from my laptop instead. So what I was trying to show you is the first time that we connect or download the app, the connection is blank, and you can see that the login page would be something like this. So this is showing us that you are connected to our demo server in Hong Kong. And without changing the user ID and the password, you can actually log in and be able to do transactions in Sales Anywhere. So this is running off our demo server. You can create quotations, sales orders, every transaction in Sales Anywhere is possible. But of course, because you are not running off your computer, you cannot show the client the result, the SO you created in Sage, the shipment you created in Sage. So you don't have access to the desktop, of course. So this is only for clients, or you can use it for pre-sales demo if it's a very, very simple demo that you want to do, or maybe the client just wants a feel of how it goes. You can just download the app, connect to our demo server, and play with it. No additional setup required. All right. So that was just to show you the GPS and the demo server connection to Hong Kong. Now, the next topic for us for Sales Anywhere is actually the customer portal. So, as we said in the introduction, the customer portal solution is designed mainly for our customer's customer creating their order, submitting it, and then tracking the status of it. So for us to do that, we just need to create customer settings. So note that this customer portal and the Sales Anywhere module are combined in terms of the installer. So when we installed Sales Anywhere, activated Sales Anywhere, it already includes the customer portal. So for those of you who are familiar with manufacturing, you know we do the same thing as manufacturing. It's already together. You don't need a separate installer for that. Now, under the customer setting, we just need to define which customer are we referring to. So let's say this is for customer 1200. So this is for Ronald Black. We want to give them, let's say, one user. So you can actually give your customer more than one user to create orders with, assuming this is a very big customer, their customer service team is big. And then I'm now assigning them a user ID for use. So let's say it's 1200 ABC. So this is maybe Terence, the customer's user. And then I can add. Sorry, I forgot. So I need to, of course, same as Sales Anywhere, uh, hybrid and offline mode, we need to limit where they can buy from. So maybe this customer, 1200, can only buy from our location one. And then we also need to limit what they can buy. So this is now the same item group that we have defined in Sales Anywhere. So we can save this. And now on each user basis, I can also say for 1200 ABC, what is the password? I'll just put it to 1. Email address, that's fine. I can select what they can do. So this is just security. Can they place orders? Can they view documents? Can they do online payment? Payment here, of course, is limited to just credit card because we don't have a way for them to pay by cash or by check. And they view statements. All of this we can play with one by one if you want, but we can save this. And now we have this one record ready for use. So for the customer portal options, this is just in Sales Anywhere. We can also send out email notifications, but you have to set up this email information so that when the customer creates the order, Sales Anywhere customer portal can send an email to the user that it has been created already. So those are just additional settings that you need to do if you want email notifications. With that, the customer only needs to download the AutoSimply. I'm still using my computer, so it's Microsoft Store. This time around, it's the customer portal. So it's AutoSimply customer portal. So this is the app that they need. They need to download onto their device. I've already downloaded it before, so it's available. So I just need to open it. And let's maximize this. Same as our Sales Anywhere, I need to tell them how to connect to our web server. So this would be the domain, the server name. Of course, in the real world, this would be HTTPS because obviously the customer is not in your local area network. So they will need to, you need to provide them that. But for today, this is fine. It's just on my machine. And then here I can then indicate who am I. So 1200 ABC. What is my password? Log in. And now we are enabling the customer user to then view orders, create orders, and then track sales. So this is now the customer portal app. And as parents, which is the user 1200 ABC, I now can place an order. So maybe I want to search for item. So I can search all items. I only have 6 right now. So maybe this too. Finish selection. Change quantity. So maybe 5 of this, 5 of that. I can even change unit of measure. So this is just standard functionality in Sage. I can upload. So if we want to teach them how to maintain CSV file, the information needed, we can just upload it using the screen. Eventually, I can put in some document header information. So maybe please ship via cross-country tracking names. This is my PO number. For comment, please do not delay. And then reference. So maybe I want to put reference here. If I want to change the expected shipment date, so can you change it to this date, and then just post. So this is now creating a sales order 122 coming from the customer. On Sage side, so let's just close that one. Go back to order entry, transaction. The last sales order, okay, not that one. It's order 122. This is what we just entered. It's a self-service order from this user ID, the reference, PO number, comments if we have, and then this is for customer 1200, which is correct. And then these are the 2 items for the quantity that we stated a while ago. Notice that this SO is currently on hold until we release it. Then of course it cannot be shipped. Going back to the app, I can go home. I can see order 122. So just ignore the spacing of the sizes. My screen is a bit too small for this. It's just a question of resolution, but you can see that the status here is pending approval. What else can I do is maybe pay if I want. So I can make a payment if I want to here. I can call out that document, and then you can see an option to view. I can change as long as it's not yet approved. Maybe I change my mind. I want three more each, and then post again. So this will change or edit the order in question. And then if we look at Sage order entry, refresh, we would now see that we have made that change. Eventually, we want to unhold it, post. Okay, but doesn't matter. We can just post it so you can see now it's on hold. It's not anymore on hold, I mean. And if we go to sales to the customer portal and just refresh, now it is already approved, but not yet shipped. So it could be that eventually we would ship it out from Sage. So just go to Sage order entry, transaction, shipment entry. So for order 112, order 112, 122, I mean, I can maybe ship all, post. So now it's shipped in our customer portal. Again, just refresh what it would seem, what it would look like to us. It's now shipped. We can see the history of orders, order shipment status as of this range. I can look for the shipment, I mean, and I can see this is now order 122, shipment 114. We can see it here. We can detect, we can view. So this is now basically customer control. The rest, it's just inquiries, pending orders. I can place orders, payment history, statements. Those are just things that we can do as a query. But in essence, this is what customer portal is meant to do. Just create order, track, payment. Payment via Stripe, just to be very clear. So let me just review what else did I might have missed. Oh, okay. Uh, to wrap up the Sales Anywhere training, I just need to highlight a couple of small things. So if you want to modify the forms that we are using for the cost for Sales Anywhere customer service, just note that we are not using the forms that are on the Sage program path. So what do we mean by that? So most uh, Sage 300 modules, let's say for example IB for barcode, we are making use of the ENG folder for the RPT files. So that's standard to Sage. But for Sales Anywhere, just note we are not using the files or the RPT files on the ENG folder in the program file. Rather, we are making use of the shared data path, company. So you can see here, we have TST001, and then we have here the templates reports. So this is actually the RPT file, the forms that we are using, and you can change it here. Why are we doing it? It's mainly because of the option or the feature that you might need to create a different form per company, even in the same entity or in the same server, right? So if you need to change the form, just note you need to check or update it under the shared data path company, and then this is the uh, what do we call it? The database ID in Sage, TST001. All right. So that's one quick tip. Another quick tip from a support point of view is notice that for both actually barcode and sales anywhere, we actually have logs that we create during our processing. So if we go now to C drive, so this is my Sage, and then program file, simply for sales anywhere. This is actually where we put in the web service. And you can see that we actually have a barcode MS log file. So what this what it means is if we are encountering an error somewhere in Sales Anywhere, you can actually send us this log file and it would document any error that it might have been finding. And then we can then check what could be happening or what could be the cause of it. So just know that we have that barcode MS. Sometimes by default, the log here is only capturing error messages. If we want to get a more detailed recording of a specific problem, what we would do is ask you to change the log to all and then do the transaction with an issue and then submit to us the log file after changing back the setting. So while we have this chance, let me just quickly show it to you. So I'll just log out from here, log out from, okay, this part, let me switch back to my local machine. All right, so let's close that. And then for the log file, okay. So we have here the web config, and you can see right now we are actually just generating a log file for level value error. So only if there's an error. For some instance that we cannot replicate a problem, we would ask you to change this to all, save it. Sometimes Sage, the system won't let you directly save it to that folder. So what you would typically do is put it first on the desktop, web config, save, okay, close that, uh, and then go back to this, copy, paste to the folder a while ago. So program file, auto simply, sales anywhere, MS, and then paste. All right. And actually did not. Actually, this is what we want to change. Um, okay. So anyway, you need to just change it to all. And then once it's done, you can then create the transaction in question. So let's say sales anywhere, and then do a transaction. Let's say it's an SO, quotation, or a shipment. Let's say PST0011 154, and then do the transaction. Let's say quotation, and then us. And then the log file that it's generating would be a more detailed log file, something like the RV spy thing that Sage does before. And that tells us more information and helps us check. But the one quick thing to highlight here is because it is generating a more detailed log, it consumes more time to run. So after you generate the log file in question, do not forget to put it back to error so that it doesn't affect the performance of the system. And then send us the log file generated from that. So this is true for both barcode, sales anywhere, and actually even chat that we will be talking about later. So just know uh, these modules, the apps, have a log file that can be used to generate tracking or auditing of error messages. So I think I don't think I missed anything. Maybe at this point in time, we can open the floor to any questions.
Great. Thank you, Terrence.
Mhm.
Um, just a couple of easy questions off the top. Can PO numbers be added to orders?
Yes.
Yes. And can
So,
credit notes? Oh, go ahead.
yep, no worries. I was just going to quickly show it. But maybe I was moving too fast a while ago. So I'm just creating one now. And then what we are referring to here is the document detail. So this one. Yep, go ahead.
Great. And can credit notes be applied as payment?
No. That part, I think it's more, you are referring to like AR, the application of credit notes as payment to, let's say, new invoices.
Yeah.
So that part we don't do from sales anywhere. That has to be on the AR side.
Right. Okay. And then a question about the offline transactions.
Mhm.
Are they generating separate invoice numbers that are not sequential with the sequence for online transactions?
Uh, Only if we set up the user to have his own series. So let me just quickly highlight that part again. So in the user master one, I do have the option to set it up or not. So if I don't set it up, like the shipment and invoice here, it will pick up the number from Sage later on. If I set up a different series for quotation and order, then this is the one that we would be using. The reason why we did this is because uh, if we don't override the document series from Sage, some clients are complaining that it's very hard for them to match what is the reference number they used during the offline mode and what was actually created in Sage. So we do put it actually as a reference. So let me quickly show you that. So when we generated the shipment and invoice a while ago from offline mode, it actually did it. So let's go to the last one here. It's not this one. So you can see that this is the shipment number 113, and it was generated by the document series that we used in offline mode. But you can see that it only generated a temporary sequence of numbers as reference. That's the difficult part. So some people complain they cannot chase shipment 113 to the original temporary number that was generated during offline mode. So that's the basic reasoning for that.
Okay, great. And I believe you showed you can add ship tos to customers.
Yes, I can actually change ship to if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
So I did not show that a while ago, so sorry, I forgot. But I assume what you mean is as I'm creating an order for Mr. Ronald Black, I can change ship to from one to the other. So maybe it's home versus warehouse. So this is for this specific order that we are creating.
Right.
Mhm.
Is it possible to add a new ship to?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me just see. I don't think I can add a ship to ship. Not add. I
Okay.
can select. I
Okay.
can create a new customer though, but
Right.
not that.
Yeah. So you can create a new customer, but not add a new ship to. Great. And the sales quote that was created, you can email it, you can send it via a mobile app like WeChat. Is it
Mhm.
also possible to text?
Um, at the moment, not yet. So we don't have any texting functionality. It would just be looking at what apps are available on your phone. So I'm not sure if there's a texting app, but right now it's an attachment as a PDF, so
Right.
not the text for sure.
Great. And that's all the questions on the Sales Anywhere session.
Mm, nice.
So if there are no other questions, then this ends the formal presentation on Sales Anywhere. It's 2:20, so if we stick with the 30-minute break, we will start up again at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time and keep moving towards the end of our day. The third session is covering AC Chat and the jointly developed teamwork that was spawned off the foundation of AC Chat from AutoSimply, which is a communication platform for capturing text messages and conversations that can then be incorporated into information you store within Sage 300. So we'll look forward to
Uh,
seeing you again at 2:50. Sorry,
uh,
Terrence.
uh, yep, let's start at 3. So just in case somebody is just joining in
Oh,
without
okay.
attending sales anywhere,
All right. That's
right? It's
probably
better to
fair.
start at the same time.
Sure. So 3 p.m. we'll start to keep consistent with the published schedule. That's a great
All
idea.
right.
Thanks, Terrence.
Mhm. All right.
We'll see
Talk to you
everyone at
guys.
3.